Hey guys, what's going on? It's Hunter here. So the other day I posted, it's been like around Thanksgiving, about like my crypto journey and some of the investing and like just how I think it's the future. Technology is a one-way street, like Tom Bilu says. It's Tom Bilu, right? Yeah, that's how you say it. Bayou, whatever. Super intelligent guy. Anyways, and he says that technology is a one way street. We're not going back. It's always going to advance, and that really clicked with me. And so I had a lot of people hit me up and like, hey, I'd love to hear more. What programs are you using to research or platforms? What coins are you investing in, or projects? I like to call them other than just coins, even though that represents the project. This is going to be a deep dive. This is going to be a long video. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm going to upload it to YouTube. I'm going to upload it to Instagram just because people were wondering about it. Got the fireplace going. We're nice and toasty up in here. So let's get started. I'm going to switch it over to this view. This is one of the platforms I use called coinmarketcap.com. And I'm not going to pull it up, but if you go to portfolio, you can click on that and I track all of my purchases and sells and whatever on here. So that way I have an overall view because I am using about 7, 8 different platforms. Some coins you can't buy on certain platforms. And so there's some that I like than others for like my Ethereum and Bitcoin that we're going to get into. What are the projects that I'm looking at? And my thesis behind them, and also just giving a general overview and not really going into like the too specifics of like how they function. But I'll try my best because it's a deep hole that I love researching, and I think it's really cool. And Web3 that's going to be coming. So let's get started. So last night, Perry and I were actually up about 1 or 2 a.m. editing, and we saw one of the biggest dumps of crypto in a long time. So if we check out Bitcoin here, we can also look at the trading view chart, which is really cool. And I change it to like an hour, or, you can do a minute and see what it does. But I usually do like an hour if you want to see where things are generally headed. So if you see last night, we saw a crazy dip. Bitcoin dipped to almost like 42K. Let's go back to this main page. It was a crazy dip. Besides like 2017, I thought it was a bigger one that we've seen recently just because everything's been hitting all-time highs. Okay, so Bitcoin's kind of like your online gold. That's what everyone likes to refer it to. It's the one where if it moves a lot, it's going to go up a lot, obviously, because you're having such a high numbers there that you're playing with. We touched in the 60,000s, getting close to 70 there. One of the projects that we've invested in for a while, since before and around 1500 when we bought whole Ethereums, was this project Ethereum. If you don't know what it is, imagine like a Windows computer. The operating system is Windows, right? That is kind of like Ethereum. Many projects, many applications are built on top of Ethereum. It's like the computer system that makes everything else work. And that's such a shallow point of view at it, but for the people that might be watching that don't know much about this stuff, that's what I'm trying to keep it at. So if any of you hardcore people out there are watching this, remember, I'm trying to keep it as dumbed down as possible. Binance Coin, this represents, Binance, one of the largest exchanges out there. I bought some a long time ago. This thing was like way cheap, like 30, $40. I barely had enough. I wish I would have bought more just because it's done so well, just like everything else. But then you have these things called stable coins, and this one right here, USDT, is a stable coin. So this is like a US dollar. Besides, this is what it uses in cryptocurrency. It's $1. You can buy it to then buy other things. You can sell your coins that may have gone up a lot, and then you want to hold it in that since it's stable. I think they do print more of these. I don't know what it might be doing with inflation within that aspect, if they print more or if they burn. I don't know much about Tether. Let's just be honest. Then we have Solana. Solana is like Ethereum with like basically no fees. Ethereum has really high gas fees sometimes, so that is like the transaction fees that you would have to pay. And so that right now is really high on Ethereum until the whole proof of work goes to proof of stake. This stuff's so in depth, guys. I'm gonna try to cover these just as dumb as possible. It's so hard because I love researching them. Cardano, no one buys Cardano, so let's skip that. It's like a running joke. I made really good money on Cardano just because I bought it under $1 and went up to like 250. I sold all mine around $2, and just took profits and converted them into other projects. We have USDC. This is another stable coin. That's one of my favorites that I use on some of the platforms. I use that one on most of the Coinbase things if I have it in there and sell it or whatever. XRP. This is a crazy one. Marcus and I and one of our other friends and some other people we know bought this way back when it was a lot cheaper. I actually have been holding this project since before 2017 or around that time whenever it went up a lot and then it's just consolidated. But they have a lawsuit under them right now that they're trying to fight. Everyone thinks they're going to win, but until they do, this thing's not going to do much. But if it does, this thing's going to pop off. So that's pretty cool. Polkadot is down a lot right now. Definitely a position that I've got in early on a few things, and then I stake them, which gives me a percentage yield, I think like 8 or 10% a year, which is way better than any savings account. The only problem is the money's going down, but your money in a bank as well for how little it's giving you, and the inflation that's kicking in, which is super high. This will go back up. Terra Luna. Luna is the, ticker, whatever you want to call it. Terra is the project. This project I don't invest in. I don't know much about, so I'm going to skip it. Dogecoin, it's a meme coin. We made money off that. I think I sold almost all my position in this a while back. Avalanche. Avalanche is a really interesting project that's done really well. We're going to take a look at it here. This is the past 3 months, as you can see, just like anything else, but it's down right now. So you basically took out 11/16 to December. This is less than a month ago. It kind of took out these gains on that. Avalanche is so I can show you. Avalanche is a layer 1 blockchain that functions as a platform for decentralized apps and custom blockchain networks. It is one of Ethereum's rivals, and it's done well. You can go to all of these guys and you can check out their website right here. So you can click website and AVAX network, and it will pull up these information. They all look really cool, and it shows you how many transactions per second greater than 4,500, which Solana actually I think beats it in transactions per second. Okay, there's so many more coins. Crypto.com have been accumulating it since 11 cents. Bought more around 30 cents when I figured out they're launching their Chronos blockchain. Went up to almost $1, especially on the news of them buying the Staples Center name for $700 million, I think, or whatever they paid for it. Paid a lot of money to make it the Crypto.com Center or whatever its full name is. Polygon, buy this project if you believe in Ethereum long term. If Ethereum goes up, this mainly goes up. It's a great platform that we like. Litecoin, have some of it, and all these others. You can go down this whole list. Okay, so let's talk about why I'm investing in crypto. So first of all, this has been the total cryptocurrency market cap over the whole decade, right? So if we go to all, this is way back stagnant. There was no use for crypto. This is back when that guy spent like 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza. Nobody cared about it. I mean, nobody cared about it in masses. People did care about the project. They worked on it, developers, but there was no use case for it yet. And then in 2017, we saw this huge spike. And I remember this. I had a Litecoin. I made money. I sold one of them, held the other. And then ever since then, it was just on this this few year hiatus of not really being used, people developing the project, people, maybe accumulating stuff, trading back and forth or whatnot. And then we get to COVID. And when COVID hit, it sparked this new just bull run of technology stuff because so many technology stocks went up. We saw that the government was printing crazy amounts of money, and I feel like these rich people started to realize, okay, so our US is printing so much money, and I think it's like 30% of all the US dollars ever printed were printed in, during this last year or whatever, some crazy number. And that has caused inflation and all these different things. And people are like, okay, so I can buy this asset that there's only 21 million units, which is Bitcoin, and it's going to go up. You can buy fractionalized shares of it. You can buy 1 millionth, I think, of a Bitcoin, which is called a Satoshi. And then we had this crazy run. We saw some kickback. I think this is when we might have accumulated some more Ethereum. Boom, we're all the way up to a new all-time high. And again, this is not the price chart for Bitcoin. This is the total cryptocurrency market cap. So right now, at the high, let's go to a year because I'll be able to see more. So at the high, it looks like we were at a $2.92 trillion market cap, which is almost a $3 trillion market cap, which is absolutely insane. And if we go to the past 7 days, we have seen a little bit of a sell-off, but it's not much. It's not much when you kind of look at the grand scheme of things, especially this year-to-date all-time chart. Yeah, we're seeing a dip, but like, look at this. This back here was a way bigger dip. So we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. We'll see what happens. But this is one chart I want to show you guys of why there's some other projects that are going to be really awesome. So if we go back to July 13th, we see Bitcoin had a 94% dominance. Basically, all money in the market cap was in Bitcoin. Look, there wasn't even any in Doge, all this other projects that weren't even out yet. And then boom, we have some projects that have started, and Bitcoin's dominance starts to fall. Here in 2017, we see Ethereum and Bitcoin almost have the same amount of market share, basically. So 37%, almost 38% of the whole market cap of crypto was in it was in Bitcoin, and then there was about 31% in Ethereum, which is huge. And we see as over time, Bitcoin loses its dominance against these other coins. Now, it could be because there's so many different projects, there's so much money being pumped in right now in all random types of currencies. A lot of these projects are going to fail. A lot of these projects are shams, and you can lose a lot of money. So you have to be very careful. But when you're looking at the top projects that are actually changing the world, there's DeFi, there's storage, decentralization, all these different things. A lot of these are going to change the world as we know it. So this is very exciting to know that some other projects are really killing it. So if we go back to this, one of my favorite projects right now that I like the most, that I just really like, would probably be, you want to know why? Because when you look at what is storage? Storage, pronounced as storage, is an open source cloud storage platform. Basically, it uses a decentralized network of nodes to host user data. The platform also secures hosted data using advanced encryption. Basically, this is people with hard drive space and good internet connectivity can participate in the network. They become a unit in the network called a node. Space providers are rewarded by storage tokens. So basically, if you had a whole system of storage, you can let other people online use your storage, but it's not just like all their data is on your one drive. It's spread across the world. So your data is backed up all across the world. If one person were to hack into my system, they wouldn't be able to get all your data because you have the key, the sole owner, to piece everything together, the person who pays to have it online. But as me, I can be the host of data and store your data and get paid by using my services, which is really cool because we're taking it out of the hands of big tech people who have all our storage, and it's going to be decentralized across the world. These are just exciting projects of what's going on. Also, you have DeFi. You have, let's see here. So one of the biggest categories that you need to be looking at is the metaverse, gaming, whatever, play to earn. There's different ones depending on where you're at. These are basically gaming cryptos. And the reason is the gaming industry is massive. It's huge. And right now, games are on certain platforms where the platforms control the rights. They get huge shares of cuts. If you've ever heard of Steam or the Apple Play Store, things like that, eventually they're going to be on decentralized networks, and people are going to be able to go and create games whenever they want and make NFTs. You're going to be able to own rights of part of the games and whatnot. These are going to explode over the next 5 to 10 years. Everything's down right now. There was a lot of euphoria in these. We've made some money. We really like the Sandbox. That is one that I got in around $1.30, went up to about $8. That's one. Engine Coin, Wax is really interesting. Ultra, and some of these others. And then another one you want to look at is the music. I don't know where the music industry is at on here. Basically research music, because right now, say you have Spotify, right? An artist uploads to Spotify. For every 1,000 streams, they get like a cent, a few cents, or whatever they get. Well, as the decentralization of all this stuff comes, and we have music being sold as NFTs, which basically the people are able to help promote bands. They're able to help promote musicians by buying into their projects and having exclusive rights to music and whatnot. It's going to completely change, because instead of the platforms like Spotify and all them keeping 80% and the artist getting 20% per se, if that's the numbers, it's going to be flipped, where the artists are getting 80%, the fans are even getting a little bit of investment, and the platform that's exchanging it all is getting just a little bit of the cut for hosting and doing all the technology. There's one person in this that is really in this space, 3Loud NFT. They are huge into this. If we can find some news on this real quick. 3Loud was able to do $11.6 million. Basically, he auctioned off the NFTs to support his music, and I believe you bought rights to the songs or whatever, and they're changing the space in this, and many artists are going to do this coming up, because they're going to be able to promote their projects. They're going to be able to have music and release whatever they want and not having to listen to their label or whatever. It's just putting more power in the hands of creators with photographers and all that stuff. All right, guys, so to conclude this video, basically my final thesis of this, if you want to break it down into short, is instead of having the US dollar, which yes, I keep, yes, I save, yes, I still invest in stocks and all that stuff, this cryptocurrency journey is money that I don't care to lose, so to speak. It's money that I strategically invest, that if it were all to go to zero, then I'm fine with it. I'm still able to have my income from my businesses, and other investments, my stocks, my savings, whatever. This is money that I'm willing to invest to lose and go to zero. Luckily, I've done decently well, where if things were to go down another 50%, I'll be chilling at a baseline of, wherever I started on average, I guess. That's just the estimation. But I believe that this is going to change the way. Why in the world would I want to get paid and it takes days to hit my bank account? Why would I wire money and it takes days to go through? Why can't I just use soon blockchain and cryptocurrency to send large amounts of payments very fast, very little fees? Like in an instant, it will be sent from one wallet to another. Their security is there. The process is there. It's growing at an exponential rate. And what excites me the most is not how much things are going up in value. It's the amount of users. There is an exponential rate of the amount of wallets, the amount of people using cryptocurrency going up. And with that exponential rise of the use means exponential rise in the value. We are sitting at a very low market cap for what it's going to be in 5 to 10 years. I believe, give us 5-10 years, and a lot of these things are going to be used way more. People are starting to buy things in some crypto, but it's going to be very interesting to see. But I hope you guys appreciate this. I'm going to try to cut this up to where it was more understanding and take out some parts. But I'd like to do more content on this. I really enjoy researching projects and seeing what's going to happen with the world. There's so many other projects that I'd love to talk about, some where they're changing the whole way devices connect around the world. Instead of using Wi-Fi, we can have way better connection wherever we're at. It's very interesting. Hope you all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.